Hello, everybody. This is Tatianna Tarot, and I'm going to give you a tarot energy forecast for the week of July 11th all the way through July 17th. There's been so many disturbances in our force this past week, and I hope you guys are all safe. I hope you guys are all well. I hope you're taking your self-care as a priority. And I hope that you're doing all that you can to stay balanced and to find some light at the end of the tunnel in lieu of recent events. I will be channeling the cards and spirit this week to let us know what we most need to know and how to cope and how to deal and how to elevate our spirit for our personal journeys on an individual and collective scale, in our body, minds, and souls, spiritual, emotional, and physical level. So what I normally do for those that are new, welcome. I channel spirit, universal mind, and I pull out a card every 2 days of the week. So I'm going to be pulling out a card for today, the 11th, Monday, and tomorrow, the 12th, Tuesday. Another one for Wednesday and Thursday, the 13th and the 14th, and another one for the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then to top it off, what I like to do is pull out an oracle card just to sum up the week, see what the final message is. And my oracle deck is going to be Sacred Symbols by Marcella Kroll. You can get it on her website, marcellakroll.com. Or you can check out her Instagram or her Twitter at Marcella Kroll. I'll be putting it in the comments underneath the link of the video. And she's a really dope person in LA. You should check her out. She's another witch practitioner and healer. As for the tarot deck in and of itself, I'm going to be using the Ghetto Tarot by an amazing photographer in Belgium, Elise Smeets. You can also get that on her site. She has an Indiegogo site, so I think she has a couple of limited copies left, and I will also be posting the link to that at the bottom of the comments should you ever want to get your own deck. I would suggest it. It was a deck that was created after the Rider-Waite, modeled after the Rider-Waite, but used with real life people to replicate the same imagery and symbology and whatnot. So let's get tuned in. So for the highest good of all involved, I ask Spirit to come through the Orishas, the Loas, ancestors, higher ascended self, spirit guides. What is the message we all most need to know on a collective scale that can touch our hearts collectively and individually? So allow me to shuffle, and you just tune into your heart space as I'm shuffling. Just drop down out of your head and start feeling from the center of your chest. And you're more than welcome to whip out a pen and paper if you get inspired. I mean, it is definitely a blessing to write that all down. You may get your own interpretations as I'm reading. You may get a flash of insight. You may get a channeled message to you, and I'm always proactive in writing that stuff down because it's going to flow right in and it's going to come right out, and you may not remember all the details, so it's best that you jot it down now rather than just assume that your memory is going to keep it all intact. Okay, so pulling out our spirit message for Monday and Tuesday, the 11th and 12th. Our spirit message for Monday and Tuesday. And that is this. Pull this out. The Hierophant. So the Hierophant is essentially a leader in his own right. He challenges the status quo. He challenges the hierarchy that he's already in. And he starts kind of breaking any hold that any external authoritative powers have over him so he can assume responsibility for himself. This is being your own leader. This is challenging authority. This is really evaluating the laws and the rules and regulations and structure that you abide by, whether that's your own what thought patterns you're playing into, what belief systems that enable you to act a certain way, how you've been conditioned, how your environment has played a role in the development of your psyche and why you are the way you are. What your beliefs are on your government, what your beliefs are on your religion, what you have to say about laws, what you have to say about what essentially is going on around you, and how you can take action in being your own authoritative force and being your own autonomous figure. The Hierophant is about consulting the guru within, and this is so relevant to what's going on in the world right now, because it seems like everything is failing us. And so what do we do when there's necessarily no one to trust, no particular leader that's taking a step up, and how do you say, starting a revolution per se? This isn't the case because the Hierophant is about you being your own leader, basically. It's about you figuring out what is good for you, what is appropriate for you, what resonates inside of your heart, what you feel you need to do in this lifetime. It is direct alignment with your purpose. And this is not one sentence or one definitive role that you'll be playing for the rest of your life. Maybe for the time being, your purpose is to be a loving and devoted mother to your children, to provide, to protect, to dote them with all this positivity and all this magic. Maybe your purpose in the moment as a writer, a developing writer, is to create a telling, compelling, stunning piece of work that's expressing not only the times, but is also expressing the depths of your soul in some way. Maybe that's what spirit is guiding you to do. It's going to be different for everyone. But essentially, the Hierophant says that we all play a role here. And it's time to abolish any sort of external control, any sort of external manipulation, any disingenuous people that may be leading. This is about you finding your truth. And what truth comes down to is what feels right to you. Where do you feel that you are aligning and connecting with your spirit? Where do you feel most expanded? Where do you feel more comfortable in yourself? Where do you feel limitless? Where do you feel unstoppable? And to live your life moment to moment with that sort of sentiment, with that sort of marriage with the external forces that be, with the higher self. The Hierophant, it takes a lot of courage to defy that which is trying to control you. And no one is going to tell you what is right or what is wrong. No one's going to tell you turn left, turn right. So the Hierophant looks upward to his source, to his divine self, to his higher power, to God, to the universe, to the cosmos, to the unknown, to the void, to the goddess. It's all contingent on what you call your higher self, your higher forces that be, if you even choose to believe in one. Essentially, that source is us. And so it is outside of us and it is within us as well. And so the Hierophant knows this inherently and trusts this with all of his heart. And so that in and of itself is courage, because he's not looking outside of himself to make the decisions that he needs to make in his life, to direct his life, to choose for him. He's got to be 100% on his game. He's got to be responsible for his choices and decisions that he makes in life. And he knows that every choice and decision will lead him to a particular path, will determine the strength of his character, will determine how his personality and individuality will shape later down the road. Every little decision lends to this. It's like a building block. So he always consults the wisdom within, what feels right. This may mean that this week, for Monday and Tuesday, you'll be extremely introspective. You'll be thinking, what is the meaning of life? Why am I here? What do I truly believe in? What am I willing to break? What structures am I willing to abolish? And what do I want to implement after that abolishment has happened? Um, what what is my sense of conviction? What do I know 100% to be true? And what am I willing to fight for? What is it that I need to let go of and abandon in order to find my sense of liberty, freedom, and strength? Where is it in my life do I need to show more courage? Maybe it's your parents. Maybe you feel you need to defy your parents. Maybe you feel that you need to overcome a barrier of guilt and shame or embarrassment that you may feel in defying your loved ones, in defying your society, in defying your religion, if that's the case. But the Hierophant is going to do it because this is his life. He's wearing the red cape not only for courage, but for empowerment, because he was born for a reason. This is not always the case for everyone. This is not, this is not something to take for granted. Not everyone is born, not everybody has the ability to be born. You had to compete in your daddy's balls to get here. And there's a reason why you're here. So he is going to manifest his life in the way that he most wants to see fit, in the way that resonates strongly for him. And he is being proactive in recreating the world around him. He is being proactive by listening to the universe inside of him and also molding the universe around him. Sounds like a lot, but it's definitely the first couple of days where you have to question what is real and what is illusion. What is bullshit? What have I been accepting as reality for myself? And why have I been accepting it? Is it because I've been exposed to this kind of lifestyle my whole life? I've been exposed to these belief systems, this way of acting, this way of reacting. Am I just swallowing information and going with the flow without challenging what's being put in front of me? Am I going to eat every plate of food offered by a stranger without wondering if it was even poisoned? That's the thing. You got to really take control of your own life. This is about responsibility too, and this is about facing mistakes, owning up to your mistakes, and doing what you can to fix them, but also seeing how it has led you to this position right here and right now. How it has led you to want to take your power back, to be more empowered, to be mindful of your sense of liberty and direction. Where are you directing yourself? Are you going up or are you going down? Are you living life with blindfolds or are you trying to seek the light? So that's really important for Monday and Tuesday. It also encourages you to find sacred spaces in order to connect with the divinity within. So you can pray, you can talk, you can offer your rituals, you can do rituals all the time. Pero if you're not in a space of solitude, of calmness, of quietness, of sacredness, you're not going to be able to hear what the God inside of you is saying, is answering back to what you've been offering it. You're not going to be able to commune with the divine because you're so consistently distracted. It's almost as if you don't want to meet them halfway. Like you're meeting up with a friend to go to a cafe to have a nice conversation. It's like you never even went. So how are you going to get the information that you most need while you're asking and asking and asking, and you're like ignoring the most important part is to show up for work. So showing up for work can constitute as meditation. And meditation isn't necessarily sitting down, focusing on your breath, focusing on different colors around your aura. Meditation can be just listening to a nice piece of music and focusing on that. Clearing your mind, being mindful of what you're thinking and doing, not trying to control anything, just being hyper aware. Meditation can be performed through walking, through dancing, going to the beach, relaxing, resting. If writing's your thing, writing can be a meditation. There's so many different ways to go about doing this. Don't think that you have to fit yourself into these molds. But anyway, let's see what Wednesday and Thursday has in store for us. So what's going on for Wednesday and Thursday, Spirit? Let us know. The King of Machetes. So definitely this is a week for taking action. This is a week for being extremely disciplined, being extremely honest and real with the world around you and with your emotions as well. The King of Machetes, he is the ruler of logic. He is very straightforward. He's very mentally balanced. He's an intellect. So he sees beyond the illusion of things. He is not persuaded by roses. He's not persuaded by honey, but he sees the truth, and he's established firm boundaries to protect them from the harshness of life. But also, he's developed quite a firm sense of wisdom and savviness, because most of his life has been spent in observation, in mental calculation as well. Not mental calculation in terms of his emotions, but seeing things for what they are, observing how people act, observing how people react, observing people's energies and what they say and what they do, and what's exuding from them necessarily, and how their energies match up to their actions. The King of Machetes can be a lot about setting new boundaries, what you will and will not accept for yourself. But it can also mean a new page in your life where you're very dedicated and committed to an end result, a task, doing the necessary research, putting in the time, waking up a little earlier to go where you need to go. Self-sacrifice, temporary self-sacrifice. It is because of his reservation, his calmness, and his coolness that he has been able to reach the top, because he hasn't lost his sense of grounding through emotional projection. The King of Machetes can be a very sound person that gives valuable advice coming into your life. Or it can represent that you now exhibit these qualities and you have a voice to express in some way. It can be through any sort of expression, really. But King of Machetes is more in charge of the communication realm, the elements of air. So that can be writing, that can be talking, whether it's on social media or it's through video, or maybe even photography. All of these things are very, very much coming to the forefront for you to deliver a message to the masses now, if that's your sort of medium. The King of Machetes may be inclined to be a little bit isolated, because he's so real that he lives in a different frequency than most people. Most people can't stand the truth. Most people can't bear the truth. Most people can't emotionally handle it. And so he's a person that is, I can see him relating very much to the hermit, in the sense where they kind of just want to be not necessarily isolated all the time, because it sounds like a very depressing thing, but they reside in their truth so strongly that they don't need any sort of external entertainment or distractions, especially when people are living in a state of being where they need some sort of validation that doesn't come from themselves. They're not really being authentic. And there's only so many people that are truly authentic. So he stands on his throne, being able to lead others with his wisdom, being able to help and be of service, Um, because he's achieved this particular role and state of being in his life. The King of Machetes is telling you that now that you have this sense of authority, now that you have this sense of higher self, being more and more connected to your intuition, being more and more connected to your heart, acknowledging how you feel, acknowledging your emotions for what they are and not stuffing them down, but choosing to validate that and choosing to question the type of life you're living and the sort of insight you're getting from other people and the rules and the regulations. The King of Machete is telling you to create your own manifesto. Whether that's a bucket list of things you want to do, whether that's your own sort of contract. I will never doubt myself. I will live life to the fullest. I will always consult my inner sage every morning. You know, whatever it is that you need to do to kind of remind yourself of how you're living your life now on these terms, it is essentially kind of, I would say it's like creating your own Bible, creating your own gospel. Knowing what feels right for you and acting on that, but seeing a visual reminder, and also not feeling fearful to talk, to speak your truth, to communicate your truth, to put your genius out there on a very como se dice, on a very matter of fact type of way. Because it's not that the King of Machetes is devoid of emotion. It's just that it's not very handy right now. It's not handy getting out of alignment with your source. It's not handy projecting your energy out all over the place and then not being able to control it. He's very calculated. He is very strategic, most importantly. And he's extremely intelligent. So be extremely intelligent, deliberate, and mindful of your actions, of your energy in the middle of this week. In fact, all these cards are playing a role in every day of the week, especially as the Hierophant comes in for Monday and Tuesday. This is you taking a leap of faith and being like, I am my own Messiah. I create this world around me. And so it's like you jumping into the matrix and being like, well, this is the definition of that, and that's the definition of that, and I'm going to choose to fly now, and these are the rules about this, and this is what I feel about my community, and this is my role here. This is not second guessing yourself. This is acting on your power with full conviction. So this is a lot of powerful energy. Powerful, like extreme leadership, extreme it's like you're going to be advocating in any way that you can, in whatever way is comfortable for you, whatever suits you. Everything is a sense of, now it's on my terms. I'm no longer giving myself away. Now it's on my terms. Now I've realized the cost of that, the expense of not thinking for myself and not owning myself, essentially, and not owning the area that I'm in. The King of Machetes can also mean prophetic vision, seeing long term. Seeing long term and seeing yourself in the future. It can also mean, though what I'm getting is that it's extremely, I'm getting cold too, excuse me. It's extremely psychic information coming through. Visions, clear communication from the spirit realm. Again, we're dealing with we're dealing with air. So paranormal activity, ghosts, insight, downloads, all that fun stuff, all the stuff you couldn't believe until you started receiving it in yourself, and then you like, OMG, What is this? What am I really opening my third eye? Some of y'all sending me the illest emails. What happens when I'm paralyzed in my bed? What happens when I start seeing my dead granddaddy in front of me? Yes, this world is real. I'm not talking out of my ass. I speak through experience. I think everybody should be speaking through their own experience, because what's real for one person is not real for another. So I'm definitely not shoving this down your throat, but you're experiencing it now. And so the King of Machetes can very much be that sort of insight, that sort of guidance that maybe you've been telepathically calling on, maybe you've been thinking about. I need guidance in this and I need guidance in that. I've been hearing so many stories, experiencing so many things, seeing so many things. Spirit is definitely all around us, always has been, always will. But activity is fresh out the pot. That's for damn sure. You know, ghosts are just all willy-nilly. They want to be seen. They want to be heard. They want to be of service. And so that's the element of air, the intangible, which you cannot see, but it's still real. The force, basically. So this force coming through with coming through with guidance, coming through with wisdom. It seems like, one, you're gonna get a lot of people advising you here or there. May not be literal advice, like someone talking to you, or it can be. Pero it can be information coming from a book. Information just falls into your lap. Random conversation, something you see on social media. Maybe they're trying to get your attention through noises. Maybe they're trying to get your attention. Maybe it's just you and you're picking up. Your brain's an antenna, your hair is an antenna, your thoughts are picking up on things all the time. And this is why you meditate, to pay attention to the messages that you are receiving. And no, you're not making it up. Hi, people in the background. Mind your business. Sipping my coffee. Hi. No, you're not making it up. As you start connecting more with Source, as you figure out what that means for you, because it's different for everybody, it's not just like in step one, this is what you do. There are tips and there are ways where you can connect deeper with your ancestors, with your spirit guides, with your sense of expansion, with spirit, with the universal mind. There are ways to do that, but everyone is different. Everybody is a different blueprint. Everybody has a different journey to venture onto. What works for me may not work for you. But as you're diving deeper into the marriage of spirit and your physical body, and you knowing that you are of energy source as well, and you knowing that you are of the light, you are spirit as well, these things are unfolding at more rapid speeds. These things are not so much of a joke. They're not so much of an illusion. They're not so much of a fairy tale. It's becoming real and real, because you are of that world too. You are of that world too. This is just the filter. So, you know, we are like the house, and the spirit are the people that inhabit the house. And so you're getting to see who those people are. You're getting to see the reality of who you are and what you're capable of doing on an energetic level, and how that's influencing you to take action in the physical realm, because you have been dormant on the inside. And now, because of recent events, or because of the acceleration of the planet and the cosmos, you're waking up. You're waking up. So as you start marrying yourself to the higher forces, the King of Machetes is going to, King of Machetes, wisdom, information, insight, clarity, but also boundaries, because you are this powerful being, and those that are not in power want to steal that from you, or do not want you to know how much power you have. So you gotta fight. You gotta stick up that machete with intellect. You don't have to necessarily head straight into the lion's den. You could set a trap and walk around it. You don't have to extend that amount of energy. This is why you have thoughts, to evaluate your next course of action, to see the multiple possibilities that you can take. Don't just leap without looking. The king of machetes is calculated. The king of machetes doesn't have to do anything because he's thinking about things that can instantly manifest. He rules the air. So 1, 2, 3, an idea summons up immediately, but he's very mindful of what's summoning up. And he does not invalidate the information that is coming through, from a cough to a brief conversation heard, to I just bumped into someone I haven't seen in a while. Everything has a message for you if you are in tune, if you are open to figuring out what that message means to you. You have to figure it out yourself. It doesn't have to be hard. Usually it's the first thing that pops into your head. But don't be asking people, what does it mean? Because it didn't happen to them. It's not their life, it's your life. So it's completely different circumstance. But stay tuned. Let us channel what is going on for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The 15th, the 16th, and the 17th. Okay. So this is the Six of Pentacles. Okay, we have something to ground ourselves with, so we're not just like all over the place. Actual work is being done. Actual progress is being done. So this is the Six of Pentacles, and the Six of Pentacles is all about service. You're in a position to provide service to other people. Again, you're wearing the red cape. I would say red is a great color to wear this week. I would say that. Yes, indeed. In fact, I was visualizing myself in a nice red dress on the way here. I'm going to have to find one. But red is just an amazing color. Colors have energy to them that helps support us along the way. That can help change our moods. That can help manipulate our moods, empower us, make us feel happier, make us feel calmer. So red is popping out a lot. Red, you can wear red if you're feeling particularly low in energy and you need to feel more vibrant, and you need to feel more courageous, and you need to feel more authoritative and like a leader, and you want to feel more seductive and lustful and passionate and loving and just in charge of yourself, empowered. That's an excellent, excellent color to wear, especially in times like these. It may heighten you up towards action, so just be mindful that you can balance it out with some other earth tones so that you don't necessarily pop somebody in the face or say something slick without thinking about it first. But red's amazing. Anyway, moving on. The Six of Pentacles. Pentacles is earth, balance, grounding, the physical realm, what's real. And so here we have a person who is growing in his mastery, of self. And as a result, he has been able to provide for himself. He has been able to attain much prosperity and abundance. And he has filled himself so much that he has enough to give to others. So not only is this talking about self-care, this is also talking about the ability to know that you have a gift and you should not be wasting that gift. You're either educating others or you're enlightening others to know that they have a gift too, and you're reminding them whether that gift is the gift of communication, uplifting other people, physically teaching them something, creating a work of art that's very telling, that's elevating the people. This is a fair exchange. It is almost saying that the universe wants to bestow upon you blessings upon blessings upon blessings. So be prepared and expect to see that. Expectation is king. Expectation is queen. Expectation is everything. I'm like a spiritual Dr. Seuss. The Six of Pentacles is mercy, is compassion, is grace. So how can you exhibit this? How can you be of service? How can you help? That's an important question. And don't think that you need to compete in the Olympics in order to do something profound. Simplicity is key. So what can you do now that you're really good at that can really help lift others up? Because people are in need right now. And you've got it in you. You've got the juju. You've got the magic. You come in with the Hierophant. You come in with the King of Machetes. You already know where you need to go. You need to take action now. You need to set those boundaries and move forward and be extremely disciplined. Don't lose your eyes on the prize. Does not give up hope. He already sees what's coming for him, and he's not discouraged one bit. You don't see him blinking. In fact, every action is to give and to receive openly. I receive willingly. I give unconditionally. I give with love, because love is the force of the universe. It is the higher self. So what does that mean for you? This is what you discover this week. You discover your course of action. You discover what rules you will accept, what rules you will not accept, the steps it will take for you to abolish them, to dismantle that, to support yourself, and also continue rising. Continue rising. Excuse me, there's a lot of noise now. Continue rising regardless of the opposition you meet, regardless of the other people that you see that are not of the same consciousness, not of the same belief system. It is irrelevant. You do you. That is the message. And be willing to receive, because you're going to be getting quite the gift this week. Because it is all about reciprocity. You give and you take. And it shows you building a hefty life for yourself, building a life where you can connect to others easily, where they have something to offer you of value, you have something to offer them of value. Your priorities are straightened, you're in alignment, you know what you need to do, you're doing it with full conviction, you're not being tempted, you're not being strayed, and you're living through your heart. I definitely see that you're living through your heart and you have no fear. In the center of the spread is the King of Machetes. Can't nobody fuck with the King of Machetes. That's for damn sure. Especially if you're in alignment with the Hierophant, which is like, I am my God. You're unstoppable. So let's see how this week is summed up with the sacred symbols. Spirit, let us know what the final chapter is for us this week, what we most need to know. Courage. What did I say? Red. Courage. Spirit doesn't lie. The tarot doesn't lie. This is why I love what I do. Because it's a direct communication. I mean, you can always directly communicate anytime, any place, in your heart. You got to trust that. But there's something about seeing physical evidence that makes me very giddy. I'm going to read this for you. Hold up. Courage. Joan of Arc once said, I am not afraid. I was born to do this. This is your new mantra. You have all that you need and more to proceed. Live your dreams. Step up forward with confidence and surety. Is that a word? Surety. Surety. Meditate on this symbol and mantra whenever you need a boost of encouragement. The lightning bolt is inspired by Shazam. Okay. Well, that ended up in a really great note. That ended up much lighter than last week's session. Please take this to heart. Jot down all the inspiration that you must have gotten throughout this whole time. I'm sending you so many bendiciones, so many blessings, so much amor and love. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. We all have a gift to serve and give out there, so go do it. And if you need to book a session, if you want to book a session with me, go to my website, myurbanillumination.com. Click on the tab, work with me, and you will see all the sessions there. Select the one that best fits your needs, and then shoot me an email with your availability, and I will get back to you. Like and subscribe and share this video if it's inspired you in any way. And I want you to comment on what's going on with your life, how you feel you need to take action, and how the Hierophant is necessarily influencing you at this time to be your own god or goddess. I pray that everything will be well for you. May you be safe. May you be enlightened and living in your light. May you be courageous. May you be empowered. Ashe. Much love. May the spirits walk with you.